How's it going, everybody? My name's Warner Fields with Fields of Profit. I'm a full-time 7-figure Amazon seller, and in today's video we're going to be jumping into some of my favorite categories to sell on Amazon. And not only that, within those categories I'm going to show you 3 different strategies that I like to use, probably the best strategies for each of those categories, kind of break it down and show you exactly how I'm sourcing products in these categories. I think it's going to be a really valuable video, so be sure to stick around to see those 3 categories and 3 sourcing methods. But if you're brand new to the channel or want even more free resources to learn how to sell on Amazon, directly beneath me is going to be our completely free Amazon seller Discord community. There's over 27,000 people in there sharing a ton of free information. Would love to see you in there, but let's go ahead and jump into the video. So the first category that I really like to sell on Amazon is a category I've been selling for quite a while. It's one of the first categories I started selling when I started my online arbitrage journey. It's the beauty category, beauty and personal care, all those products just like that. There's a ton of products in that category that is ungated as soon as you get the category ungated, so that's awesome, versus a lot of other categories like toys, where you can get the toys category ungated, but then beyond that you still have a bunch of individual brands to get ungated in. So I think the beauty category is a really good category, especially for you beginners out there, because there is so much opportunity that's going to be ungated as soon as you get that category ungate done. And on top of that, in the beauty category, there's a ton of kind of boutique little mom and pop websites you can take advantage of and kind of go off the beaten path, off those websites like Walmart, where everyone's sourcing and those products are a little more likely to tank. There's just a ton of websites out there, a ton of opportunities, especially opportunities to find coupons that kind of give you a moat around your products, kind of help protect your products from price tanking. So I just think the beauty category is really good in that aspect as well. And there's also not super high return rates in the beauty category. If you run into products like makeup palettes and that kind of stuff, those can break in shipping. So that's something to think about. But a lot of those beauty products like the creams and stuff like that, those are products that customers have been using for a very, very long time. So those return rates end up being a lot lower because they already know what they're buying. They're just buying the same thing again that they've been using for years. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into the computer over here and I'll show you one of my favorite strategies for specifically finding beauty products. Alright, so one of my favorite strategies for finding beauty products, and this is just where I found the most success. A lot of you guys at home might have more success with different sourcing methods, so definitely try out the other 2 methods that are going to be in this video. But for specifically beauty products, I've had a lot of success doing reverse sourcing, which let me go ahead and show you kind of the idea of what we're doing here. So I had pulled up a product just like this one. It just kind of stuck out to me as an arbitrageable product for a couple reasons. Number one is the Keepa chart right here has a lot of fluctuation in pricing. It seems a little bit stable, but the buy box is kind of hopping all around. There's plenty of new sellers on it. Looks like there's about 30 sellers. Although the new seller count is fairly consistent, it's just looking like an arbitrageable product. There's not a ton of sellers. The price is a little bit all over the place, and it's a brand that I know is an arbitrageable brand. So that's just a great starting point for us to start doing some reverse sourcing, especially for beauty products. So the real magic with this is going to come into play once we jump into SellerAmp over here on the right, which if you don't have this tool already, there's a code down below that'll get you 50% off plus a 2-week free trial. It's kind of a no-brainer, honestly. This tool and Keepa are probably my absolute kind of must-haves for selling on Amazon. So let's go ahead and scroll down a bit here on SellerAmp down to the offers tab. And the reason we're going down to the offers tab is because this is basically just a big list of all the sellers who are on this product. And we're looking to kind of compete with these other FBA sellers. So we don't really care about the FBM sellers in this case. So what I'm looking for is an FBA seller who doesn't have a ton of ratings. So in this case, this guy has 21,000 ratings. He's probably doing some wholesale, some other stuff like that we don't really know where they're getting their products cheap enough. Unlike if we are able to find an arbitrage seller, in theory, we should be able to figure out where all their products are coming from. So let's go ahead and look for somebody like this. They have 200 ratings. So let's see. This guy has 51. Why don't we go and check out this guy? They've got 51 ratings, kind of right in the sweet spot. And it looks like this is actually a great example. This seller looks like they're really going hard on beauty and personal care. So this is a great example of exactly why I like this strategy for finding beauty products, because this seller right here just really likes beauty. We clicked from that one arbitrageable product that was in the beauty category, and now we have 154 other products that they're selling in the same category that we can go ahead and look through here. So what we're doing as we scroll here is we're looking for products where we think we can buy it for the max cost. Based on the buy box, we're looking at the Keepa chart as well, just making sure everything creates a complete picture of an item that we might potentially be able to buy cheap enough to flip. So in this case, we're looking at kind of like, it looks like specifically at like an unboxed mascara, $6. It's telling me I can get it for $23. I just don't see the profit here. Looks like they're selling a lot of Clinique and lots of these kind of more premium beauty brands. So I'll be curious to see if we can find anything really great here there. So let's go ahead and keep scrolling on down here. So this right here looks like we'd have to calculate the max cost. Not sure what that's about, but this is on for 35 bucks. We need to buy it for 20 bucks. Let's just go ahead and open the Google Shopping tab and see if we might be able to get somewhere close. It looks like a lot of these are going for $35. So we'll just keep on scrolling down the list here. This is that same product we came from. It looks like Walmart is saying they've got it for $7.99, which could be interesting. Let's go ahead and check that out. So it looks like we did find it over here on Walmart, although immediately I'm seeing it's a 1 ounce container. I'm also seeing it's not being sold by Walmart themselves. So I'm just going to go ahead and avoid this product. Too many red flags there. It's also just not even the right size from the product we came from. So let's go ahead and check this one out. This seems a little bit interesting. Never sold this brand before, but let's see what kind of pricing it's going for. So we're looking for a price of $27. Looks like this right here is $35. So we're getting a little bit closer. Why don't we go ahead and jump into this site here and see if we can find any kind of coupon deal, anything. Like I'm looking at the banners up here at the top, sale 50% off. If you really wanted to, we could go ahead and like apply this to our, or we could add this to our cart, run like a Honey, the Chrome extension kind of compares different coupon codes, all that kind of stuff. I'm not really thinking there's going to be any coupons on this site. So let's go ahead and keep on scrolling down here. Got this little makeup palette here. We're looking for a price of 15 bucks. Looks like this seller might be doing some wholesale. I'm not really sure. Their pricing seems to be pretty good based on what I'm seeing immediately. Probably what's happening here is they figured out some kind of website, some kind of coupon deal where they're able to buy this stuff on a revolving basis. And then when I come in here and look at their storefront, I can't figure out where they're getting it from, which is great. That's what you need as a seller. You need to be buying things with moats. You don't want to be able to buy things that sellers can immediately figure out exactly where you bought it from, because that's going to be what's leading to your price tanking. So let's go ahead and let me just go ahead and try to click around here for 1 second here and see if I can find a product just to prove the case here. So like we got this right here. We're looking for a price of 28 bucks on this. Let's see if this going for 42. Looks like it might be a 2-pack of it for 32. This could be what we're after. Why don't we go ahead and examine, see what we got going on here. Could be a 2-pack. We're looking for, oh, it's some kind of like combination pack. Although if this is the same exact bottle, we could like open it up and lot it out. Although there's only one of these left, so it's not really worth it. Although that could be, we're getting closer to something interesting there. They're selling a lot of the same stuff as that other seller. In this case, I'm probably not going to be able to find anything within a couple minutes here. So why don't we go ahead and jump on to the next category that I really like to source products for. The second category that I want to talk about in this video is actually the grocery category. This category tends to be a little bit more stable in pricing. There tends to be less super high ROI, crazy flips in the grocery category. Sometimes you find them, but they are a little bit rarer, at least in my experience. But the thing that I really like about the grocery category is, number one, the pricing and all that kind of stuff tends to stay fairly consistent. There's not as much price tanking as I see in categories like beauty or clothing, or all those other categories tend to be a little bit more volatile than grocery. And on top of that, most grocery products, Amazon customers can't actually return those products. So it ends up increasing the amount of profit you're making. You know, when we're talking about, we're not going to find a ton of home runs in the grocery category, but we're also not going to run into any products that are going to see massive return rates, anything like that, because a lot of times they're actually not even allowed to return products in the grocery category. So that obviously helps our profit margins there. And the grocery category is another category similar to the beauty category, where once you're ungated in the category as a whole, you're going to be allowed to sell a ton of the brands in that category. So you're really going to have a lot of opportunity unlocked if you do start selling grocery. Which, by the way, if we come across any brands or categories that you're still gated on during this video, in my absolutely free Amazon seller Discord community, the Amazon Launchpad, I'm wearing the shirt today, we talk about the ungating methods for pretty much every brand, any category, and that server is completely free. So go ahead and check that out if you're trying to get ungated in certain categories or certain brands. It's just an awesome free resource that we've worked really hard to build for you guys. So with that said, let me go ahead and jump into the computer over here and we'll talk about exactly one of my favorite ways to find grocery products. So one of my favorite ways to find products in the grocery category is with this tool right here called Tactical Arbitrage. I know most of you guys are probably familiar with this tool, but if you're not, basically what it allows us to do is, let's say we want to plug in Walmart.com. We want to go here. We want to go ahead and scan the food category, because in this case, we're interested in selling a bunch of grocery products. So after we do that, we're going to click this button right here, this add to bulk button. Basically what that's going to do is just add it into this scanning. And now it's basically added every food item on Walmart.com, and it's going to be comparing the prices on Walmart to the prices on Amazon. It's going to see kind of automatically for us if there's any arbitrage opportunities there. So now that we have that taken care of, I'm also going to go ahead and throw on my filters right here for Walmart. I've got a little bit of more specific filters for Walmart. Kind of the main big difference here is I've gone ahead and thrown on a 5% cash back. Kind of a big tip for you guys. The Walmart credit card lets you get 5% cash back. You basically buy everything on the site at 95% of prices, which if you're not familiar with the wholesale world, sometimes Walmart's price at 95% is very, very, very close to some of the top distributors distributors. So definitely go ahead and take advantage of that. But as we kind of go down here, there's a bunch of other filters I throw on here. Just for the sake of time in this video, if you are interested in checking that out, I have a video on my channel walking through the filters and the kind of more in-depth guide on tactical arbitrage. But since we're trying to cover a little bit of a different topic, I'll skip over that this time. So let's go ahead and run this scan here. Let's give it a second and come back and we'll start looking through the products that it found. So let's go ahead and jump into this data on tactical arbitrage. I let it run for a little bit here. Let's go ahead and see what it spit out for us. Let's see if we can find any low-hanging fruit here. And I really do like to use tactical arbitrage for this because there's just so many grocery products and there's so many products out there. It looks like it just popped up another one where I just really don't think it would be possible to manually source such giant categories like this. If you were going to do that, it'd probably be better to kind of delegate that to a virtual assistant team. Probably not a great use of your time to manually be comparing the prices of full price things at Walmart to the prices of items on Amazon. So I really like to use tactical arbitrage for this, which does kind of add some competition here. If it's that easy for me to find it, it's going to be easy for others to find it. But I've found a decent success using tactical arbitrage on the grocery category. So let's go ahead and just start jumping in here. Let's open up a couple of these links. This one right off the bat, I'm just looking at the Keepa chart. I also have the product image as well as the product title pulled up here so that I can make sure right away that it's not a mismatch. So we're looking at kind of the coconut butter biscuits, looks like a 10-pack. Everything looks the same to me. So we'll go ahead and click through here. Kind of the name of the game with tactical arbitrage is avoiding clicking through as much as possible, because over time saving up on all those clicks is gonna add up and save you a bunch of time in the long run. So this product is for sale for $6.12. It's selling on Amazon not super quickly, but it is selling for 17 bucks. Looks like SellerAmp is predicting 24 sales per month, but the sales are picking up. So is the new offer count here. I don't think this is going to be a great product, but it is profitable. It's 53% ROI. It's $3.27 profit. Selling a little bit slow. It's probably going to tank a little bit just because the volume is not very high, but that first product there is profitable. I wouldn't personally buy that just because it's not kind of high enough volume for me, but let's go ahead and keep checking out what we got here. So we got these cinnamon graham crackers. We've got the same cinnamon graham crackers. This could be a little bit of a more interesting listing. It's telling us it's selling 43 times a month, but it looks like the sales velocity has kind of picked up recently. Maybe this is kind of picked up in sales because of, you know, summer cookouts, all that kind of stuff. I am noticing this is the low fat version. This is probably not the low fat version. So why don't we see if we can get the low fat version here? And let's just go ahead and add on low fat to the end of this search here. See if Walmart might potentially be selling it. Not seeing it here. Another thing we could do is we could go back over here and then we could click the Google button on SellerAmp, kind of automatically Google it for us, see if any of these match the low fat versions. I do see the low fat version, but it is kind of the non-cinnamon flavor. So this product could actually be pretty decent if you're able to get it in stock. Maybe this is it right here. Yeah, so this product would maybe be pretty good. This could be something to keep your eye on. I really like selling products that you see they're out of stock. You can kind of track that over time, add it to a list, come back to it, see when it maybe potentially comes back into stock. But that's actually a good thing on the long run if you're able to buy it, because if you're having trouble buying it, so are other people, and there's gonna be less competition on these listings. So this would be probably a pretty good product here. So we're buying it for $3, it looks like. So we'd be making 135% ROI there. The price is a little bit higher than it normally is. I'd say it's closer to a $12 product. So the profit per unit isn't super high, but the ROI is pretty good. Not a bad product here. Kind of add it to a list, maybe reference that later on down the line. See if you can get it in stock. Let's go ahead and keep jumping down the line here. I would just like to see this product selling a little bit faster, I think. So I'm going to scroll past that. Let's check out this one, and this will be our last product that we'll check out for this sourcing method. So this is a 24 count of these fruit snacks. Looks like it's kind of jumping all over the place. The buy box has kind of hung out at 24 bucks for a little while. Again, it's out of stock from Walmart. So we can go ahead and click the Google button again, see if any of these other retailers have it. Looks like iHerb might have it, although that's a different shaped box. So I don't think that's the right box count for us. Not seeing really anyone else with that 24 count. So we'll just keep moving on here. And again, this could be another good thing to add to that spreadsheet. Hopefully you've got a spreadsheet where you're keeping track of items where when you saw it, it was out of stock. And then every day or every other day, however often you want to check, you can check all the links on that list, kind of go through there, see what's back in stock, check the Amazon listing, see if it still looks good. And that can kind of give you a nice starting point, especially over time as you kind of develop a bunch of products that you're going to add to that list. That can be a really valuable resource over time. The last category I want to talk about in this video is a category that I've been expanding into fairly recently within the last couple months, maybe a year. I've been selling a lot in the clothing category, clothing, shoes, all that kind of stuff. And the reason I like this category is because there's a lot of barriers to entry in this category. Think all those premium brands that you have to get ungated in. I know all of you guys at home, they're like, I want to sell Nike. There's a ton of opportunity in that brand. There's tons of opportunities in every other brand. Don't get so hyper fixated on the clothing and the super fancy brands that everyone wants to sell as a brand new seller. I actually wasn't ungated in brands like like Nike or Lego for years after I started my Amazon business, and I did perfectly fine. So don't stress about selling those big, hot, popular brands. There's a ton of opportunity outside of those brands. But with that in mind, there is still a good amount of opportunity in the clothing category. There just tends to be a couple drawbacks to this category. Number one is the super high return rate that you're going to find in the clothing category, especially shoes. You can see return rates of upwards of 20%, 15% isn't super uncommon in that category. So those are definitely things you want to factor in the clothing category. I know I've been running about 8-9% on returns there. So that definitely can eat into your profits if you're not forecasting for that. So it's not a great category for beginners just because there are a couple hurdles to that category, but that's what makes it a good category in the long run. Not to mention variation listings and all that kind of stuff that tends to trip up beginner sellers, which as you learn more and more, if you're able to master those skills, you're going to be able to stand out way more from the competition, and that's going to be a massive competitive advantage. Products in the clothing category also tend to be a little bit harder to find because everyone in the whole world, they start their Amazon account and they immediately want to sell Nike products. So it is a little bit more advanced as a general rule to find those products. So once again, let's jump into my computer over here and I will show you my favorite way to find clothing products to sell on Amazon. All right, so let's jump into another method that I like to use specifically for sourcing clothes. This is also a good method just generally when you find any good sale sections. When I'm finding clothing listings, in this case, I've gone ahead and pulled up adidas.com here, and specifically I've pulled up the sale section. This can be a great starting point for us to figure out some potential leads for us because a lot of times those retail price items just not going to be even close to good. Everyone's already seeing that. Everyone's already comparing those prices to Amazon, but these sale sections can be really good opportunities. Plus I was noticing Adidas is having some kind of end of season sale, so it looks like we can get 30 bucks off on orders of 100 plus. So maybe go take advantage of this sale if you're watching this video and the sale's still going on. But let's go ahead and start clicking around here. I'll show you kind of where the real magic comes into play. So basically what I'm doing when I'm looking through these sale sections, this would be probably a more of a manual sourcing method, but I'll show you a way to speed it up here. Is I'm looking for products that are at a steep discount, the types of products that I know would be doing really well on Amazon. So typically with clothing, that's going to be not products like this one right here. It's kind of a weirder design. Amazon customers are typically buying kind of the most boring version of every clothing, every shoe item. So let's go ahead and check out these Ultra Boosts here. I noticed that there's a ton of different colors, although it might just be this specific color that's on sale. And what I'll actually do when I'm manually sourcing is I'll click the SellerAmp extension up here, and that goes ahead and punches it into kind of an Amazon search. It shows you on the sidebar here. It's probably going to be pulling up just the whole listing with a ton of different kinds of shoes. I'm not seeing this specific color. There's the color name. So why don't I add that to the end of that search? And that might get us a more targeted. Yeah, so there's what we're looking for. It looks like this shoe is going for 127 bucks. We're buying it for 133. Amazon's on it, so there's probably not going to be a lot of opportunity here. So let's just go ahead and head back and continue to look through the rest of this sales section. Again, I'm looking for kind of the more boring stuff. So these right here might be a good example. There's just these kind of like boring, you know, regular like tight pants. I think the color that was on sale is a weirder color like this green. I would like to see kind of the black on sale to be worth clicking through here. This could be worth checking out. Why don't we go ahead and just might as well. It looks like a pretty plain black and white slide. It's got a kind of a funky design. Again, usually the funkier designs aren't great on Amazon. Yeah, 23 bucks being sold by Amazon, so we want to avoid that one as well. Let's go ahead and keep poking on through here. Let's check out these shower slides. Those seem, you know, boring enough to sell well. We've got this oversized sweatshirt, 40% off, could be good enough for us. Let's go ahead and just check these out as well. Although, was the black on sale here? I don't think the black's on sale. I just don't think that's going to be worth our time there. So let's go ahead and click the SellerAmp button on this one. Looking for an oversized sweatshirt here. So this is, I think we're getting closer to something. So 60 bucks here, although the sales rank looks really high. But let's just go ahead and click through and see what we got. Looks to be the same thing. So we've got medium gray heather. We've also got the black. It looks like it's out of stock in almost every size except for small. So we can see if there's a small that's in stock. That's interesting for us. Looks like Amazon is on, are they on the small? No, it looks like it's starting from 112 on the small. Let me refresh here. So we've got, yeah, no Amazon on this one, although they usually are on this listing. It's also estimating 10 sales per month. Not really sure what's going on there. Could just be a really slow selling listing, but let's go ahead and let's poke around, see, maybe let's check a couple more items, see if we can find a good example here. These are kind of funny, like off-brand Crocs kind of thing. We'll go ahead and check those out. Let's check out these shower slides. Those are all black. And then let's check out these. And then hopefully we'll find something here, but if not, we'll go ahead and wrap up there. So these Amazon's on, so continue on. You can see right away how important using SellerAmp here is for this manual sourcing process. I didn't have to, you know, grab this and copy and paste it and all that kind of stuff. All I had to do was click this extension up here, automatically searches it for me. I know Amazon's on it, saves me so much time. This tool's like 20 bucks a month, absolutely worth it. So we're going to continue on here. Adidas looks to be on these as well, or Amazon's on those as well, sorry. We're looking at the Duramo 10s, not seeing anything. I'm also not noticing that they're on sale anymore. So I might go ahead and open up an Amazon listing. Why don't we just go ahead and do this real quick? Looks like here's the men's listing. This could just be for size 10. Again, you can see how weird clothing gets, where this listing right here, this shoe, for whatever reason, the size 10 black and white got its own listing. And you can see right back here on the Keepa chart, usually it sells really, really fast, and then it started selling really, really slow, and then really, really fast again, and then really, really slow. And you can see where these listings get really weird, and this listing probably got detached from a much more popular listing, which creates opportunity for you as an arbitrage seller, because we like those little inefficiencies in the market. That's where we make our money. When kind of things get a little bit glitched up and they get a little messed up, that's where we start to really make our money. I'm not really seeing anything else kind of immediately sticking out to me here. This method is definitely the most manual. I mean, it's in the name, it's manual sourcing, right? It's definitely kind of the most tedious, definitely the most time consuming, but it does tend to find those listings that last the longest. The listings that I've been selling for months and months and months have almost all been manually sourced, because they were found, there's just kind of some kind of trick you're using, kind of stacking some information about a coupon, with certain sale sections, all that kind of stuff. There's just a million different ways you can protect yourself from price tanking when you're manually sourcing, which is why I really like this sourcing method. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got a ton of value out of it. I know it was a little bit longer than the usual video on this channel, so I'm confident there's a ton of value in here. If you're watching to the end here and you want an even more in-depth kind of step-by-step guide to build a successful Amazon business, linked below me is going to be our course, the FBA Roadmap, which has 10+ hours of video content, private community, a ton of other bonuses and all that kind of stuff for you guys to check out, as well as a 2-week no questions asked money back guarantee. So if you're interested in kind of getting on the fast track, growing your business, and you liked my teaching style in this video, definitely go ahead and check out the FBA Roadmap linked down below. But if you guys have any questions or any comments, anything like that, feel free to drop those down below as well. If you can hit the like button, subscribe, all that kind of stuff helps me out with the algorithm as well. But I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you next time.